I don't know. You're going to have to ask Aaliyah that question. I honestly, you just do your work. You got to do your work early and make it different. But Aaliyah did say I have a special whistle when she shot 13 today. She said that to you? Yeah. Yeah, she said the last game I had a special whistle, which is cool.
What happens when a two-time MVP, a reigning champion, and one of the most dominant forces in basketball finally snaps? After the Las Vegas Aces suffered a shocking blowout loss to the Indiana Fever, A'ja Wilson walked into the press conference not just as a defeated player, but as a woman on a mission to expose what she believed was a rigged system. The air was thick with tension as reporters asked her about defending the Fever's rising star, Aaliyah Boston. Instead of giving a standard media-trained response, A'ja leaned into the microphone and dropped a bombshell that sent shockwaves through the league. She claimed that Boston herself had cheekily admitted to having a special whistle. With Boston shooting an incredible 13 free throws that night, Wilson's words weren't just a complaint about a few bad calls, they were a direct accusation of outright favoritism that put the entire league's integrity on notice. This wasn't just about one game, it was about the very soul of the competition. But what she revealed next pointed to a much bigger, more disturbing problem than just one player's supposed advantage.
The look on your face while you're looking at that box score, I'm wondering what's really standing out to you there.
I was just looking at the fouls. Like, Liz had 5, Jackie had 5, Chelsea had 5. And that's very interesting to me because I'm not saying we don't foul. Yeah, we foul here and there, but that's very interesting.
The box score from that night tells a story of its own, and it's a horror story for the Las Vegas Aces. A'ja wasn't just blowing smoke, she was pointing to a statistical anomaly that was impossible to ignore. As she scanned the stat sheet, the reality of the game became crystal clear. She watched helplessly as her star teammates were systematically taken out of the game by a relentless barrage of foul calls. Chelsea Gray, the team's floor general and one of the smartest point guards in the world, was forced to sit after fouling out. Jackie Young, an explosive all-star guard, crucial to their offense, was also slapped with 5 fouls and rendered ineffective. The foul disparity was staggering, but the free throw numbers were even more damning. While Aaliyah Boston seemed to live at the charity stripe, getting call after call in her favor, A'ja Wilson, a player known for her relentless aggressive play in the paint, barely got a whistle. For a super team like the Aces, losing is one thing, but feeling like you're playing 5 against 8 is something else entirely. This wasn't just a random bad night of officiating, it felt like a targeted attack.
It looked like they really were intentional about going to Aaliyah in the second half. What was, I guess, difficult about containing her? I know you guys kind of touched on a few things, maybe with the foul calls, but what made it successful for them to keep running hard tonight?
I don't know. You're going to have to ask Aaliyah that question. I honestly, you just do your work. You got to do your work early and make it different. But Aaliyah did say I have a special whistle. She shot 13 today.
She said that to you?
Yeah. You? Yeah, she said the last game I had a special whistle, which is cool. So we just got to play their better defense, make her look a little difficult, and kind of go from there.
Adding another layer of intrigue to this explosive situation is the claim about Aaliyah Boston's own words. According to A'ja, Boston had told her in a previous game, "I have a special whistle." Was this a moment of playful trash talk between two elite competitors? A joke that A'ja twisted in a moment of frustration? Or was it a cocky, unfiltered admission from a player who knows she has the referees on her side? Boston is no pushover. She's a physical, powerful presence in the paint who has a knack for drawing contact. Her supporters would argue that she simply knows how to play the game and force officials to make a call. However, A'ja's public airing of this private comment transformed a simple officiating complaint into a direct player versus player drama. It put Boston in an uncomfortable spotlight and forced fans to choose a side. Was she the beneficiary of a rigged system, or was she just a skilled player being unfairly targeted by a frustrated opponent? The accusation hung in the air, unanswered.
What? Oh my God, that's interesting. That's what I was looking at. We'll do better. We gotta play better defense.
I'm interested. You mean that shit?
Yeah, I can't say that because I got a brain to protect. But
Say it, I have no brain.
yeah, it's interesting.
For anyone who has followed A'ja Wilson's career, her outburst was anything but surprising. It was the inevitable eruption of years of simmering frustration. AJ Wilson has long been one of the most physically dominant players in the WNBA, yet her ongoing battle for respect from the officials has been a constant maddening struggle. Despite racking up 2 MVP awards, a Defensive Player of the Year trophy, and a Finals MVP, she has consistently found herself on the losing end of foul calls. She attacks the rim with unparalleled force, absorbs an incredible amount of contact, and often gets nothing for her effort. For years, frustrated fans have created highlight reels, or rather lowlight reels, of egregious no calls against her, showcasing a bizarre reality where the league's most decorated player is often officiated like an unknown rookie. Her comments after the Fever game weren't born from a single loss, they were the explosion of years of pent-up anger from a champion who feels utterly disrespected by the very league she helps carry on her back. This wasn't just about one game, it was the straw that finally broke the camel's back.
How much Liz foul trouble impacted you on the rotation and her impact on the defensive end?
Yeah, I mean, it hurts us. We need to be able to play Liz heavy minutes. She's been an impactful player in this series. I gotta go back and look at the tape, but it seemed like there was a lot of grabbing and holding down there. That got called one way.
Anything else?
I did appreciate it was a little tighter call, but tighter on both ends would have been nice.
The implications of this officiating controversy extend far beyond AJ's personal frustration. They strike at the very heart of the Las Vegas Aces dynasty. This team was built to be an unstoppable force, a super team for the ages, winning back-to-back championships with a roster stacked with Hall of Fame talent. But the loss to the Fever in the way it happened exposed a critical vulnerability. It revealed a blueprint for how to dismantle this powerhouse, target their stars with foul calls. If you can get Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, or AJ Wilson into foul trouble, you don't just take a player off the court, you disrupt the entire rhythm and flow of their finely tuned machine. This has led to a dark and unsettling question: is the league, consciously or not, trying to level the playing field? Ending the Aces' dominance would create more parity, more underdog stories, and arguably, more drama to sell to a growing audience. The idea that the league might be sabotaging its own dynasty for the sake of entertainment is a chilling thought. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the Caitlin Clark effect. The arrival of Caitlin Clark and the meteoric rise of the Indiana Fever has brought unprecedented attention, money, and viewership to the The league is experiencing a cultural boom unlike anything in its history, and the Fever are the undisputed main attraction. Their games are moved to national television, arenas are sold out, and their merchandise flies off the shelves. This has led to widespread whispers and a growing conspiracy theory that the league and its officials are giving their new Golden Geese preferential treatment. The theory is simple and cynical: keep the Fever's stars, Clark and her powerhouse teammate Boston, on the floor and give them favorable calls to create exciting, high-scoring games that keep millions of new fans tuning in. Asia's claim of a special whistle for Boston suddenly doesn't just sound like a complaint anymore. It sounds like an accusation that the league is protecting its biggest investment, even if it comes at the expense of its established, decorated superstars. While Asia Wilson's voice was the loudest, she wasn't singing a solo. Her criticism tapped into a growing chorus of frustration from players and coaches across the league. This season, marked by its heightened physicality and intensity, has been plagued by complaints of inconsistent and confusing officiating. Other superstars have subtly voiced their displeasure in post-game interviews, and coaches have been seen throwing their hands up in disbelief on the sidelines night after night. The game is faster and stronger than ever, but the refereeing has struggled to keep pace, leading to a sense of chaos and unpredictability. By speaking out so forcefully, Asia didn't just advocate for herself, she became the unwilling spokesperson for every player who has felt cheated by a bad call. It became clear this wasn't just an Asia problem or an Aces problem, it was a potential credibility crisis for the entire WNBA at the very moment it was stepping into the mainstream spotlight. The moment Aja's words hit the internet, a digital firestorm erupted. Social media became a battleground, dividing the WNBA fanbase. On one side, loyal Aces supporters and longtime basketball purists flooded timelines with video evidence, clip after clip of Aja getting hammered in the paint with no call, defending her as a warrior who finally had enough. On the other side, a wave of new fans, many brought in by the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, dismissed her as a sore loser, unable to handle the new competition. The debate raged on sports talk shows, with analysts like Stephen Irini Smith and Shannon Sharp weighing in, amplifying the controversy to a national audience. Aja's press conference was no longer just a sports story, it was a cultural flashpoint, pitting the old guard against the new school and forcing everyone to question what they were really watching. Amidst this raging debate and swirling controversy, the WNBA's official response was, in a word, deafening silence. There was no emergency press conference, no strong statement defending the integrity of their officials, no announcement of a review. Instead, there was a void. This lack of a decisive response was interpreted in two very different ways. To some, it was a sign that the league was hoping the story would simply blow over, another 24-hour news cycle casualty. But to others, the silence was far more damning. It felt like an implicit admission of guilt, a tacit acknowledgement that they couldn't logically defend the lopsided officiating. By failing to stand firmly behind their referees, the league inadvertently fueled the conspiracy theories, leaving fans and players alike to wonder if the game was truly being called fair and square. The silence itself became part of the scandal. So, where does this leave A'ja Wilson and the league she represents? Is she simply a frustrated champion, a sore loser lashing out after a humiliating loss? Or is she a courageous whistleblower, risking fines, a damaged reputation, and the wrath of the league office to expose a DMNing truth about the sport's integrity? On one hand, you have a dynasty player watching her team get dismantled by questionable calls in a game against the league's new media darlings. On the other, you have a league experiencing explosive, once-in-a-generation growth, largely fueled by those same darlings. The question that now hangs over every game is as unsettling as it is profound. Is the WNBA willing to sacrifice the purity of competition for the profits of entertainment? A'ja Wilson put her legacy on the line to force that question into the light, and now the entire basketball world holds its breath, waiting for an answer and wondering if the game will ever be the same.